had a couple drinks and she was letting loose on roasting my dad, and I thought it was a little bit funny. Like, it was a roast, so she was doing what she thought she was supposed to do, and all of a sudden my now deceased stepmother is like to her son, is like, get up there and get her off now. We need to get her off. And it's like, you guys called it a roast, and technically she's roasting. So, and no one cared that much. Do you know what I mean? It's not like the whole world was going to see my dad a certain way because she decided to bring up a childhood memory that put him in the light of a typical older brother. Like, he was an older brother and he probably did a few things, and back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, it might have been slightly normal. Even today you have people doing stuff, and not to minimize it, like, I totally understand what she means, but it's more like, why did they need to get her off the mic, if you will? So anyway, so that happened. Then we all go back to my dad's house, and for the most part, everybody's sitting around, and if you were to look in, it would seem neat, like everybody's having a conversation, this is cool, it's a whole bunch of people, unless people are minimizing things and bringing up topics that are a little too personal to your situation, and then they're minimizing and mocking it in a weird way. Like, say you sought out therapy to get over exactly what, the dynamics that were going on as I talked about, and they start talking about, who needs half the therapists out there need to get therapy, and blah blah blah. So they're minimizing the need for therapy. I could have gone on drugs or pharmaceutical products to cope with them, because that's what most people had to do. Anyway, so I'm sitting there feeling a little like, okay, I'm singled out and the odd one out a little bit, but everybody's supposed to be quote unquote mature, this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. So it's hard to explain, but the next morning, I planned to stay at my dad's house that night and then head back the next morning with the rental car to stay with my mom, and then I would fly back home. It was a short visit all around, so I didn't keep it long just because I had to work and everything. And the next morning, I'm getting ready to get in the car, and I realized like everybody had parked behind me, so I started to feel trapped. It's hard to explain. Normally I wouldn't if everything were kosher per se, but I felt a little trapped. Everybody had to get in their cars and pile out in order to let me out. My car was all the way tucked up at the front of a carport, so in a way I felt a little bit trapped. I decided not to go to breakfast. I think they were all going to go to breakfast, maybe. I think I decided not to. I can't remember the whole scenario. I'm driving back from Bradenton, which is south of Tampa. I'm on the major highway. It starts pouring rain like a monsoon. We are talking, you can't see. All of a sudden, like a major migraine that I felt like my head was cracked open. We are talking a migraine so bad that I was like, I knew I had to pull over, but in addition to the migraine, I started bawling and crying, and it would seem like a breakdown, but it's more like the migraine. Sometimes migraines can make you can make you cry, and if they're really painful, like, oh my god, this is so painful. So migraine, pouring monsoon rain, going past Tampa, going north on I-75, and then I just like broke down crying and everything else. So I pull off on the side of the road. I call my mom. I'm like, this is where I am. I don't know how long it'll take me to get back. I'm thinking, oh god, I gotta drive all the way back to Jacksonville to rental car, and I'm having this major, breakdown, if you will, while it was pouring rain. Anyway, I wanted to bring up that story because it dawned on me, or dawned on someone else, like, what was going on in Tampa? Someone immediately thought Tampa was a problem, Tampa, Florida. We actually have advertisements today 22 years later for people to go to Tampa, because people came up here trying to handle other people. Our world has slowly become a population of people who are heavily handled by people who think that they can handle people. It's in the realm of, I don't like to use the word puppeting, but it's in the realm of people hunt people to handle. I had to learn this. I didn't know this back then, and other people would say, well, people's brains are in certain realms at different ages, and depending on your background and experience, like some people will never know that people are handled. And there are some people who hunt out people because they want to help them have a better life, and maybe it's a good thing. And I'm thinking, was the person in Tampa better than whoever I already had? Because I needed, technically I needed a little bit better life. But anyway, then there's other arguments where people are like, we do natural people, we don't do fake people. And there's a lot of fake people out there, and you're wondering how they speak very quickly on news press conferences when you see people speaking at the speed of light. They might have an education, but they might also be heavily handled. They might be higher up, they grew up a certain way, quote unquote, you know, this, that, and the other, whatever. Point being, someone out there knows that Tampa might have been a severe problem that, you know, created a situation in which I was heavily traumatized. Not to mention people involved who might have already been handled. They know there's more to it, and so do I. So one wrong